How to properly deconstruct an argument. A very good skill to have, and I have an example of it where I want to break it down and show you how you can approach someone that may have a differing opinion or just a differing viewpoint of things and try to illustrate to them in a way that logically makes sense. So how do you do that? Well, I'm Clay, let me explain. Now, first off, I am not looking to get political or anything like that, but there is a glaringly a flaw in this person's viewpoint. There's a flaw in this person's logic that is being overlooked. But that's the whole idea, is you have to understand where somebody's coming from, and if they're coming from a spot that's just not correct, we'll go to that spot. Don't chase off a bunch of other things. Just focus on that core point, and then when you build your argument, your counterpoint to that, it's gonna give you a much firmer foundation. So let's get to this comment. Like I said, this is not a political video. This is a video on how to approach a statement, approach an accusation is probably not the right word, but approach someone else's thought process in a very logical manner where you can, rebut the thought process in a way that's not insulting or anything like that, but just sticks to the facts of, the facts of how things actually are. So let's get to this comment. So this person says, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, and Norway are governed by democratic socialism, and they have better living standards than the USA. Tougher regulations are needed in order to protect society from greed and malpractice. I am sure if you will be infuriated if your local water streams are poisoned by some chemical company. So let's say, which is the case here, that my view is free markets are the best, okay? So starting off the top, that's my point of view is, hey, free markets are the best. And this person clearly disagrees with that. This person is saying, you know what? What are they saying? They are saying that tough regulations need to be made. So this is me, that is them. Now, I will say that's not like these people are jerks. They approach it in a very polite manner, but there's definitely there's a differing of opinion here. So what you need to focus on and how you go about this is, okay, why are there tougher regulations needed? Well, again, hopefully you're saying, well, because they mention greed, right? In other words, and then they use an example, right? They used a water company. Well, because that water company is greedy, we need to have regulations on them because of their greed, they're just going to pollute the water and people are going to get sick and you're going to be infuriated by it, to which I agree. I would be infuriated if I got sick by a local water company. But let's think about this. It's their thing. They are greedy, meaning what? They want to make money. So let me ask you a question. Is a good way to make money to get sick all of your customers? Does that sound like a good way to make money? Again, I'm not saying, this is their words. This is their rationale. There needs to be tough regulations because of greed. Well, what is greed? Greed is the desire to make money. So let's think about how is that what to use it? So that way I'm not inserting anything. They're a water company. How does that water company make money? Well, and like I said, hopefully I'm starting to insult your intelligence. Do they insult or do they make money from getting customers sick, or do they make money from providing a good product? Right, that's by providing a good product. Meaning, do you really need to regulate them to not pollute the water? Is that actually necessary if your premise is, well, because they're greedy and because they want to make money, they're going to go out there and pollute the water? No, that doesn't make any sense, right? That's a total contradiction of the premise. The free market will punish people that pollute the water. How will they punish it? I will be infuriated. So to that point with this person, I agree. I would be infuriated if I got sick. And everybody else would be infuriated. Do you know what infuriated people do? They don't support the company that's putting out a bad product. And you know what happens when companies don't get support? They fail. But remember, what is the whole idea of this? Is the whole idea greed and to make money, or is the whole idea to fail? Well, of course it's not to fail. They want to make money. And what did we say would cause them to fail? By providing a bad product. So this thing about regulations needed, it just doesn't make any sense. That's not a true premise. If your premise is regulations need to be in store because corporations, companies, such and such is greedy, and they're just going to do whatever it takes to make money. No, they will not do whatever it takes. They will do whatever is going to make them money. They will do whatever needs to be done to put out a good product. Now, I would argue this, that the reason they may actually be polluting is because all these regulations are making costs so tight. So they need to find and nickel and dime and try to cut every little corner as possible because these regulations already make their lives hard enough, already add enough costs onto their business. So now they're forced to try to get fancy, to try to get creative in their production. And in doing so, this fanciness, this creativity that they're forced into could produce, oh, well, we didn't mean to do that. We did just poison the water. We didn't do it out of greed. We just did it because we're trying to save costs. We're trying to make the costs work because, we have all these regulations on us. Whereas if you just said, listen, company, if you want to go and do whatever, go and do whatever. But, well, that means companies are going to do everything evil because they're greedy. No, they want to make money. They're not going to do stuff that's going to cause them to go bankrupt. They're going to put out the best product possible. And if they don't have all these regulations and costs, guess what? They can devote that much more money to being safe, to making sure that they put out the best possible product. So that is how I would approach that. You can't get caught up in, well, such and such country is all better. Okay, that's irregardless. Your point is that those countries are somehow better because they have tough regulations, because that protects everybody from the greed. That just doesn't make sense when you go through the logic chain here. So that's how you deconstruct something. Focus on why they're making the claim. They're making the claim because of greed. And then from there, you can just build down from there and say, well, wait a second. That just doesn't make any sense. So hopefully that helps. The next time maybe somebody comes at you, not necessarily with this argument, but just any argument. You got to find out why they're proposing what they are and then see if it lines up. In some cases, it may line up and they may be like, oh, okay, well, that's actually a good argument. That does make sense. But in other situations, things are going to fall apart like this one does. Now, if you have another reason why regulations are needed outside of greed, then I'm all ears. But to use greed as a reasoning for needing regulations, as far as the point of greed to make money, just doesn't make sense. In the free market, they're going to take care of companies that don't produce the good products. So hopefully this helps. Any comments or questions, you can leave those down below. And as always, suggestions for new Clay Explained videos, I'm all for it. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.